Olá, boa noite. Eu sou o Biribó, hoje com o vídeo 4 de Broken Sword 2, o Espelho Nebuloso. Ontem, o George descobriu, com o xamã da aldeia daquela ilha em que ele naufragou, que a pedra negra maia que ele tem faz conjunto com outras duas, todas necessárias para um ritual que mantenha preso no espelho das ruínas do templo o deus da destruição, que de outra forma se libertará durante o eclipse do Sol para destruir o mundo. As outras duas pedras foram roubadas por dois piratas, Cat e Eldrago. O George então vai para a ilha do Capitão Cratch, que ele comprou no Caribe, enquanto o Nicol vai para o British Museum, em Londres, porque Eldrago, apesar do nome espanhol, seria um pirata inglês e que teria levado a pedra para Londres. Após muitas peripécias, o George conseguiu livrar-se do topógrafo, que queria fazer um hotel de luxo, no lugar do Museu Cratch, e conseguiu, das descendentes do pirata, autorização para entrar no prédio. Daí paramos o jogo quando a Nicol entrou no British Museum.
It was a phone, probably for staff only. I didn't need to make a call. I wasn't leaving here until I'd got what I'd come for.
Ah, não, pensei que era outra ala, foi por onde ela entrou.
The carving looked Central or South American in style, perhaps Aztec. I doubted I could sneak this enormous stone out under my jacket.
Todo mundo ia notar se ela pusesse essa estátua no bolso da jaqueta para ir embora.
It was a woven wall hanging with a South American design.
Excuse me, miss. Please don't touch the exhibits.
Não toque nos artigos, que vai deixar de ser um jogo de aventura, então.
The mask looked more African than American. I didn't want the mask, although it certainly reminded me of somebody.
A máscara recordava alguém, não é que ela quisesse. E nessa vitrine,
It was a stone identical in size and style to the coyote stone. However, this stone bore the image of a jaguar.
então sem dúvida essa deve ser a pedra do jaguar, e não a do coiote, que já estava com o George.
The cabinet was locked.
É, como era de prever, né? Conversar com as chicas?
Bonjour. I wonder if you could help me.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
What's so funny?
São
Oh, never mind.
as risonhas que o George encontrou na galeria.
The pots in the case seemed to amuse the girls no end.
Eram bem engraçadas para as chicas.
I had and have no interest in old pots.
E dessa outra vitrine?
Perhaps I'm a Philistine, but old vases bore me. The display case contained a couple of vases. The carving looked Buddhist in subject, but Mesoamerican in execution. I wanted nothing to do with that statue. It made me nervous somehow. It was a small, flat square of polished obsidian. Nothing like the one I was looking for. According to the caption, this was the scrying mirror given to Dr. John Dee by Sir Francis Drake. The cabinet was locked.
Ela nem quer isso, mas quer abrir a vitrine para pegar. Parece aquela que jamais quis abrir as coisas para pegar o que não podia.
There was a huge carving of somebody who must have been important once. There was nothing I wanted to do with the statue except find out where he bought his hat. Très chic.
Chique no último chapéu da estátua. Galerista não, guia do museu.
The cabinet contained a dagger
No.
decorated with Mayan designs.
Ah, era isso que ela estava apontando, não era pro cara? Tá, então tem uma adaga maia aqui, que ela também tenta pegar.
The cabinet was locked. The attendant didn't show it, but I sensed he was watching my every move.
Vamos conversar com ele.
Can I help you, miss?
What can you tell me about the scrying mirror?
Ah, that belonged to the alchemist and part-time Elizabethan spy, Dr. John Dee. It was brought back from the New World by Sir Francis Drake and presented to him. It's Mayan, you know.
What is a scrying mirror?
It's rather like a crystal ball, and you can't see anything in it. Apparently, he had a partner who used it to talk with angels. If you ask me, you were barking mad.
Have you ever heard of an English sea captain called El Draco?
El Draco? Not a very English name.
I think that's what the Spanish would have called him. It was about the time of the conquistadors.
16th century. Oh, I know. That's what the Spanish called Sir Francis Drake.
Francis Drake? Have you got anything here that belonged to him?
Indeed, miss. We have a couple of artifacts he brought back from one of his journeys.
É Draco, não Drago, como eu tinha dito na introdução.
It didn't look anything like the coyote stone. This one was like a little black shaving mirror. Is the scrying mirror the only piece of obsidian Drake gave Dee?
Funny you should ask. There's another called the Jaguar Stone. Dee never liked it, though. Said there were angels in the mirror, but devils in that stone.
Can I take a closer look at Dee's mirror, please?
No, you cannot. That's why the cabinet is locked. They tried some newfangled interactive scheme. And you can guess what happened. Bloody kids ran off with half the exhibits. Hands-on experience, my foot. In my days, it was hands off, I ask you. What do kids know about ancient Mayan civilization? Nothing.
Can you tell me something about the Jaguar stone?
Certainly, miss. The so-called Jaguar Stone was brought back from the Americas by Sir Francis Drake and presented, with, as you already know, the more famous scrying mirror, to John Dee. The old loony didn't like the stone, though. Reckoned it was tainted by the devil. Come along, miss. I'll show you the mirror.
I've already... Oh, never mind.
Vai lá ver o espelho.
There. John Dee's famous scrying mirror, given to him by Francis Drake.
Do you know if this mirror has any relevance to Tezcatlipoca?
Who? Tizletlik... I can't even say it. Ah, there's someone here who'll be able to help you better than me.
Não sabe dizer táxi pipoca.
This young lady has some questions to ask, Professor. I think she's from France.
Professor Roubillet?
Eh? What? You two know each other, do you? Excuse me, the telephone.
We meet again.
Mademoiselle, France, eh?
Yes, I believe that's where you live, Professor.
I have a house there, on the outskirts of Paris, but I haven't been back for many months.
É, pode ser também Tesca Pipop, que é, traduzindo, é uma estátua cheia de pó. Cheia pipop.
What can you tell me about the Jaguar stone, Professor?
It's obsidian, from the Chichen Itza region.
Só isso.
Professor Oubier, your taxi's here.
If you'll excuse me, I have some urgent business to attend to at the docks.
Só dá tempo de fazer uma pergunta.
Can you answer me some questions about the Jaguar stone?
Certainly, miss. If you just step this way. It's gone. Some sods half-inched it.
Half-inched?
Stolen it, miss. Never mind. The silent alarm will have been tripped. I'm afraid nobody can leave until our crack security team gets here.
How long will that take?
Could be a while. I think it's their tea break.
The thief could be miles away by then.
Don't you worry about that, miss. Just don't try to leave.
It was too much of a coincidence that Oublier showed up and the stone promptly disappeared. I didn't have time for their crack security team to finish their tea. I had to get after him. I didn't steal the stone. I was nowhere near it.
So who do you suppose did steal it?
It must have been Oublier.
Huh! Begging your pardon, but he's a man of letters. A professor.
So was Moriarty. Man of letters or not, he's your culprit. Don't you think it's suspicious that Oublier has urgent business at the docks?
Not in the slightest, young lady. He's gone to oversee the unloading of cargo, an exhibition of Mayan sculpture on loan from Mexico City.
What's the name of the ship?
The Xibalba Princess, moored down by Tower Bridge. Why do you ask?
Just wondering. Thank you, you've been most helpful.
O professor abriu e deixou a chave. Ah, ela pegou a chave e o cara aqui do lado nem notou. Agora ela consegue abrir ali para pegar a adaga. Que bobagem. Era para pegar a
The
adaga.
key unlocked the case. It was an obsidian dagger, thin and razor sharp.
Uma finíssima adaga de obsidiana.
There was nothing very useful in my bag, just a single hair clip. It was a hair clip.
What was it you wanted?
Look at this. The thief left this key in the cabinet.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
That makes the theft an inside job, right?
Oh dear.
In other words, the thief was Professor Oublier.
Well, let's leave that for the police to decide, shall we? I better phone them right away.
Agora, enquanto ele fala no
Hello?
telefone,
I knew I had nothing to worry about if the police were called.
Yes, I'll hold.
But I had to catch up with Oublier, and fast.
agora ela está livre para conversar com as sorridentes aqui.
The doors were securely locked.
Você tem a chave? Não, você tem uma adaga mais finíssima, de obsidiana.
I levered the handle open with the thin dagger.
Enquanto isso, de volta à ilha de Cat,
The room had been decorated to resemble the interior of a sailing ship. It was disturbingly effective. It was an indented well in the corner of the desk. I guess it was intended to hold ink, but it seemed unnecessarily wide. Maybe Ketch had used it to hold his rum bottles steady in heavy seas.
buraco para o tinteiro, mas grande demais para ser para um tinteiro, ele estranhou. Aqui uma pluma.
It was one of those old pens made out of a feather.
Pluma de escrever, né? Pena para escrever.
That might come in useful in ticklish situations.
Pode ser útil para fazer cosquinhas em alguém.
The top surface of the desk had a large recessed area set into it. I guessed it was intended to stop things rolling off in heavy seas. There was also an inkwell and the small hole where the quill had been.
Aqui apoio para coisa não rolar na mesa. Claro que no mar o movimento, mas aqui era algo que segurava uma superfície emborrachada ou algo assim.
That looked like that's where it was supposed to be, so I left it there.
Ele não ia pegar porque parece que era daí mesmo. Suporte da pluma.
It was the holder for the quill. It was firmly attached to the desk.
Também não arranca. E o suporte do tinteiro também não. Caderno.
It was an old book with spidery writing covering the open pages.
Dá uma olhada lá.
March 20th, 1670 fix. Engaged frigate off Fan Salvador? It was garbage. Huh. I guess being a pirate didn't require too many academic qualifications. The passage went on to describe how Ketch had got wind of the approach of a fleet of English ships. It seemed the new governor had not shared his predecessor's views on Ketch's activities. They were out for his blood. Sailed to that place where I made secure my fortune. I returned safe in the knowledge that the governor shall not discover that which I had hidden. For is it not writ that 'tis easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle?
Falou que ele escondeu o tesouro. Como é que o Rio disse que era só coisa de turista isso? Barco.
It was a beautifully crafted model of a sailing ship.
A maquete do barco do Ketch.
The ship looked too fragile to touch.
Ah, marquete. Tinha que ser, né? Maquete. Pirata Ketch. Sacaram, né? Essa foi boa. Esse trocadilho. Maquete com Ketch. Luminária. Como é que chama mesmo isso? Lampião.
It was a neat oil lantern made of brass.
Lampião de a óleo. Que naturalmente ele vai pegar.
Holding that lantern, I felt kinda biblical. Like Jesus or Florence Nightingale.
Ele é bíblico como a Florence Nightingale, a enfermeira que jamais fez parte da Bíblia, nem era daquele tempo. Vou pôr o farol no buraco do tinteiro? Vou, né? Não vou ficar com ele na mão.
The lantern fitted so precisely in the inkwell, it could only be deliberate.
Então o lugar era aí mesmo. Diz ele. Mas não é para acender ou já está aceso? Mapa para pegar.
It was an actual pirate ship chart.
Pegar o mapa também.
Okay, I've had my hands on an historical document. Now what?
Também vai ter que pôr em algum lugar, e pelo tamanho do mapa e o formato, terá que ser aqui. Na escrivaninha do pirata.
The chart fitted exactly into the recess on the top of the desk. That looked like that's where it was supposed to be, so I left it there.
Tem o sino, tem as espadas.
It was a shiny and very sharp-looking pirate's cutlass.
Pode pegar machete.
It would have been easy to reach the cutlass and slip it in my pocket. It would also have been the most regrettable action of my life.
Sino.
It was a ship's bell.
Two bells and all's well.
Pirates were cool.
Timão do barco.
Maybe that wheel was from Ketch's ship. Suddenly, I was 12 years old again.
Não falei que era Tigor?
Hard a port, bosun. Aye, aye, Captain Stobart.
She cannot take it, Captain! My lad's dead. Abandon ship! Captain Frederick Ketch, 1570. Around his neck was a cross. Maybe he was a part-time pirate. The portrait might have made a nice souvenir, but it was too large to carry.
Ah, ele não quis roubar. E por que a cruz chamou tanto a atenção? Ah, tem o baú.
It was Captain Ketch's sea chest. Its battered appearance hinted at salty tales of maritime adventure and swashbuckling. Long months at sea with a rum-sodden, mutinous crew, hardtack and scurvy. And this chest, full to the brim with Ketch's loot, pearls, diamonds, emeralds, and doubloons. On the other hand, it could have been full of spare blankets.
Surprise!
Emily!
What the? Who are you?
I'm Emily.
What were you doing in there, Emily?
Hiding. What are you doing here?
Grown-up stuff.
Grown-ups? Pfft, I'm never gonna grow up, I'm not. You shouldn't be here. What's your name?
I'm George.
Pleased to meet you, Jaws.
George.
Jaws,
Jeez.
make your mind up.
What can you tell me about Captain Ketch?
That's him on the wall, in the picture.
Yeah, I know. Scary-looking guy, huh?
He was my great-great-great-great-grandfather.
Yeah. You have his eyes.
Ela não tem olhos assustadores, não. Não mais do que qualquer mulher.
Do you know how to use a theodolite?
We don't learn anything about surveying at my school. Not until 5th grade.
Would you like to play darts?
No?
Oh, come on. I'll throw, you catch.
That's dangerous. Darts will stick in me and make me bleed.
Ela tem mais juízo do que ele. Também não é difícil, né? Carvão da sorte.
I bet you can't keep this piece of coal in your mouth for the next half hour.
Could too. I could keep it in my mouth for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah? Go on then. Prove it.
Don't want to. And if you try to make me, I'll tell Aunt Mina.
Que ideia também.
Look, an ancient Mayan stone.
Is that a magic stone?
Well, I don't know about that.
No.
O Chico, Rio.
Why don't you go play with Rio?
I'm not allowed.
How come?
'Cause Aunt Frost says I'm not allowed out of the house. That's why, Mr. Nosy Beak.
Too bad. Why don't you ask your other aunt if you can play with Rio?
Aunt Mina's cuckoo. Aunt Frost says so. She says when the Lord handed out common sense, Aunt Mina was off getting double portions of chin.
That Rio's a smart kid. He helped me outwit Bronson.
Rio is clever. He can spit ever so far.
Ele é legal porque cospe longe. E esse crucifixo?
That cross you're wearing, Emily,
It's my lucky Jesus cross.
it's just like the one Captain Ketch wore.
Uh-huh.
Can I borrow it?
Uh-uh.
What would you trade for that cross, Emily?
A puppy.
Well, I don't happen to have a puppy in my pocket right now. Can you think of anything else you'd trade?
Don't know.
Vai fazer isso com a criança, trocar por uma calcinha sexy, não, né? Pelo Teodolito. Ah, ela não achou interessante.
Why don't you run along and play?
Aunt Mina told me, stay out of mischief.
Well, that doesn't mean you have to stay indoors, does it? On a beautiful day like today?
There's a storm coming.
Oh, nuts. You don't know that.
I do so. I can see the whole world from the window.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm busy. She wouldn't have been interested.
Não interessou.
She wouldn't have been interested.
Estátua maldita.
She wouldn't have been interested.
Vou ter que falar com o Rio para chamá-la. Fazer cócega no gato.
The cat made short work of the feather, tearing it into a blizzard of small pieces.
Ele só destruiu a minha pena. Gato malvado.
The quill had been torn into small pieces.
Encontrei a Emily. Chame para brincar.
What do you give to a small, irritating girl who asks about everything?
Try a conch. Delicate colors, interesting shape, and when you put it to your ear, you can hear the sea.
Yeah? Why's that?
Usually because you're standing next to it.
Cool. Have you got one?
Yeah, but I promised it to my sister. She well vexed with me.
O presente para uma menina chata seria uma concha para ouvir o mar. Ele tem uma, mas não pode dar porque prometeu para a irmã dele que tá brava com ele. Vamos perguntar da irmã dele, então. Já sabemos o que tem que arranjar para Emily.
Why is your sister mad with you?
Well, last night when I got home with our supper, she went wild. Rio, she said, how come all you ever catch is puffer fish? A sicker puffer fish. What I want is tiger fish. So don't bother come back home till you catch one, boy. I don't see how I'm gonna catch no tiger fish. All I have is a fishing pole and a worm.
What do you need to catch a tiger fish?
One of them real fancy flies like the rich fishermen use.
Eu tenho. Uma que o gato estragou tudo aqui. Uma pena de tinteiro esmagada pelo gato. Você quer?
Hey, this is just what you need to make a fly.
Thanks. Let's hope them tiger fish hungry. A deal's a deal. Here's a conch.
Ganhou a concha. Emily vai brincar lá fora com essa concha de ouvir o mar. Que um menino muito bonito mandou.
Here, I've got a conch. Would you like it?
Dunno. Aunt Frost told me never to take presents from strange men.
I'm not a strange man.
Then why are you called Jaws, Jaws? That's a stupid name.
I'm not called... Look, conch, pretty. Swap for the cross, yes or no? Right, this thing's going out the window.
Okay, we'll do swapsies.
There were several things I wanted to say to that awful kid, but I held my tongue.
Essa menina horrível, ela não é horrível nada, deixa de ser assim. Cadê a cruz? Tá aqui.
Ketch's crucifix was encrusted with precious gems.
E enganou a menina no buraco da pena.
Ketch's cross slipped snugly into the penholder.
What you doing, Jaws?
I've put your cross in this little hole in the desk.
Why?
Impulse, mainly, with a dash of irrational intuition.
Silly. Only women have intuition.
The lantern cast a strong light over the desktop. The light cast a shadow of the cross. And the shadow fell precisely over a small, unnamed island shaped like a skull.
Tem que ir na Ilha da Caveira, onde está o tesouro.
That must be it. Ketch's Treasure Island.
Uh-oh. That's Zombie Island. It's a bad place.
No kidding? Well, bad place or not, that's my next port of call.
Can I come too?
The hell you can.
I never get to leave the house.
Viu? Mas ele não roubou a cruz, deixou lá para ela de volta, pelo menos. Foi só um empréstimo mesmo, como ele tinha pedido. Você tem um barco, me leva lá na ilha do zumbi? Ilha do tesouro, coisa de turista. Deixa de ser bobo, cara.
Would you take me to, Zombie Island?
In this weather? You're mad, man.
The rain will keep the zombies indoors. Just say I did meet a zombie. What would you do?
There ain't no zombies on Zombie Island. At least, not anymore. It's uninhabited.
Good. What do you mean, not anymore?
You still want to go?
I guess.
Well, I ain't had no luck with them tiger fish. And with the mood my sister is in, I'll be safer with the zombies.
Vai levar-se. E com o dinheiro da viagem vai poder comprar um peixe tigre para a irmã dele. Aí elas se livraram do Bronson finalmente. Fez que nem a Bá no apartamento da avó.
So, this was Zombie Island. Somehow I'd been expecting something more sinister.
Come on, Rio. Let's find that treasure.
No, thanks. I'm staying right here.
Oh, come on. You said yourself there's no zombies left.
Yeah, but that was while there was a big pile of seawater between me and this place. All me have now is this little bit between the boat and the shore, and I'm hanging on to it.
De longe eu não tinha medo nenhum, de perto já fico um pouco receoso.
It was too high. I couldn't get up there. The cliff was steep, too steep to climb without handholds.
Sem ter onde segurar.
And I couldn't find any.
Rio, me dá alguma coisa aqui para prender na parede. Me dá Emily.
That Emily sure asks a lot of questions.
Resik, man, this whole Emily business just isn't funny.
Look, we're obviously at cross purposes here. I'm talking about Emily Ketch.
Yeah, and so am I. He was my friend. Her aunts hated it, but we did move together, you know. She used to be real keen at hide and seek. It could take hours to find her. One time, the last time, it took days. She must have shouted and screamed herself hoarse, but there was nobody to hear her.
Where'd she hidden herself?
Captain Ketch's old sea chest. The only way to open it was from the outside.
Suddenly, I didn't feel so good. We never exchanged another word about Emily Ketch. Rio's boat was strewn with fishing nets and tackle.
A rede tá aqui. Pede a rede para ele, então.
Could I borrow your net?
Yeah, man, no problem.
Até pensei que ia ter que voltar para pegar uma rede lá.
You planning on catching some fish?
Nope. I'm after a big rock. Well, here I go. Wish me luck, Rio.
Good luck, George. Watch out for the Walking Dead.
Mas então a Emily morreu e era o fantasma da Emily que o George viu. Enquanto isso, em
I
Londres...
stumbled down dark stairwells for what seemed like forever, until suddenly I found myself, wow, in an abandoned London Underground station. This place must have been closed down decades ago.
Estação British Museum... Fechada há décadas? Acho que não. Uma das estações que tinha parada ali. Máquina de bilhetes.
The machine looked like it had sold its last ticket a long time ago. It might have been a nice souvenir if it hadn't been torn and dirty. It was a poster advertising holidays in Scotland. It was an old chocolate vending machine.
Ela entrou pela entrada de serviço, ali a entrada fechada ali, a entrada vedada, aquela saída do museu que estava fechada com a tapeçaria sul-americana e foi descendo no escuro até que chegou nessa estação. Era uma porta que não usava mais. Foi por ali que ela saiu do museu, conforme a gente vinha jogando. As moedas saem por aqui. Tem algum?
The cup was empty.
Você não tem uma moeda? Uma libra para pegar troco? Usa o teu gancho de cabelo, então. Ela conseguiu enganar que estava pondo
I
uma
pushed the hair
libra
clip
lá.
into the slot and whatever was stuck there disappeared into the machine.
Ah, tinha uma moeda presa ali, ela empurrou e agora a moeda caiu aqui embaixo. Ou o troco da moeda.
I pulled out an old English penny.
Um antigo penny em inglês.
The tray was empty.
Então não saiu mercadoria nenhuma, era só balança antiga. E que não
The
diga,
machine wasn't about to weigh me for nothing.
não ia pesar grátis. Que susto, mas os trens continuam passando ali. Claro, os trilhos não foram desativados, só a estação. Do trem que passava aqui na frente, agora o que passa no trilho do lado continua ativo. Usar a moeda então para pesar. Não sei porque ela quer se pesar também, só para passar raiva. Não que ela tá muito bem, não, mas essas balanças geralmente estão erradas.
I put the old penny into the slot, the needle twitched rustily and the machine spat out a card.
E ela não contou quanto marcou. Nenhuma mulher conta o peso, pelo menos não de verdade.
The poster was advertising a play I'd never heard of. It was an old map of the London Underground. It was a maintenance cupboard. A latch lock stopped me getting into the cupboard.
Ah, eu posso olhar o peso dela aqui?
The weight was in imperial units. It meant nothing to me. The card also had my fortune on it. A family quarrel will turn out to your advantage.
Está em unidade que ela não entende, então ela não sabe se está magra ou se está gorda. Ou se já está só magra. Ou se já está só gorda. E vai abrir isso daqui ou não? Cada vez que passa o trem, fecha as ações.
A latch lock stopped me getting into the cupboard.
Abre com a adaga fina. É isso mesmo.
The blade of the dagger just fitted between the door and the soft wood frame. The door gave slightly and then held firm.
O trinco da porta prendeu a tampa. Para isso, então, o papelzinho do peso. Não era só para passar raiva.
I remembered my student days when I regularly forgot my house keys. A wiggle with the thick card between the frame and the lock, and the latch lifted.
Botão. Ah, o botão deu sinal aqui para o trem parar nessa estação, mesmo desativado. É isso, ela está sabotando o sistema underground em inglês londrino.
The train was my ride out of there. I could worry about not having a ticket when I got to the docks.
Um dos melhores do mundo. Pelo menos um dos mais legais. De volta à ilha de Cat. Não, aí a ilha dos zumbis. Walking Dead. E agora posso ir para cá ou para lá. Vamos começar por lá. Pela esquerda. Ah, será que a gente tem que ir andando sem flechinha, assim? Não vale, eles nem explicaram isso. Ah, agora tem mãozinha pra lá.
There was something in that hole beneath the rock.
Buraco embaixo da rocha. E ele vai pôr a mão, claro.
As soon as I stooped to investigate the hole, its inhabitant disappeared into the darkness.
Tem pra lá também. Vai ter que dar a volta de novo todo o caminho para vir pegar esse junco. Ah, agora veio pelo lado de trás da árvore.
Hold on. I've been here before. Haven't I?
Eu estive aqui antes, estive vindo do lado de cá. Sim, estou contornando pelo outro lado do caminho. Yeah.
Initials carved into the stone read F.K. Frederick Ketch had been here.
Agora eu tenho um lugar pro teodolito, mas eu não montei o espelho lá em lugar nenhum. Vou ter que voltar. Acho que é naquele lugar então que tinha a criatura e aquela árvore. Ou não. Primeiro eu tenho que colocar aqui e depois.
The hill I was on had reminded me of a camel's hump as I'd climbed up it. Now I had to see what I could see.
Acho que é por aqui, mas... Só que a gente não tem. É esse pilar.
Heck, Ketch could have hidden his treasure anywhere. This island's full of hiding places.
Aqui. Que droga. Fazer todo o caminho de volta. E por que ele achou que naquela árvore é que seria o tesouro que ele precisa marcar? Ou o ponto onde ele teria que colocar a marca do teodolito. A Bach sabe usar bem o teodolito. Ah, naquela primeira cena em que ele não quis entrar no pântano, já dava para pegar o junco, é isso?
one reed was enough. The end of the reed was too narrow for the dart to fit into.
Alargue para mim isso aqui.
The end of the reed had been neatly bitten off. Now I knew what was living in there. A long-toothed, snarling, furry wild thing. The dart fitted snugly into the reed. Great. I was tooled up and dangerous.
Dardo meio usado e que só atordoa. Tá afim, porquinho do mato. Vai dardinho aí, como diria aquela que jamais disse isso. Trepadeira.
The creeper just came away from the rock as I pulled it.
No.
No good. I'd have to be bitten by a radioactive spider before I stood any chance of getting up there. I could see no point in tying the net to the creepers on the rock.
Não era pra atar, era pra jogar lá em cima e escalar, mas se tem que atar em alguma coisa, é na trepadeira.
The net attached easily enough to the creeper and seemed secure.
E o marcador do topógrafo. E agora joga tudo lá
Great.
pra cima.
I'd created some sort of creeper marker fishing net assembly. Sometimes I terrify myself with my creative genius. I'd successfully got the marker into a position near the top of the needle simply by using the kind of lateral thinking that can get you institutionalized.
Porque podia escolher lado ou outro. Agora ele tem que descobrir como chegar de volta naquele troglodita. No troglodita que ele montou no alto do monte. E agora, como eu quero ir para lá, eu não vou achar, só acho quando eu quero ir para algum outro lugar. É muito chato. E cortaram um pedaço do labirinto ainda que estragou a utilização da tradução em português, das legendas em português. Mas se era para continuar chato, podia fazer maior e usar as legendas em português. Mas eles querem que demore. Pelo simples prazer de irritar. Ah, tá aqui embaixo o marcador.
It was the marker which I had raised up the needle of rock. I could see the marker I had fastened on the rock down in the forest, and right in line with it, the rock I was looking for.
Sim, mas como que ele fez isso? E por que ele pôs ali naquela pedra justamente? Por que que ele pôs o marcador ali se ele queria achar uma coisa que ele não tinha a mínima ideia de onde estava? Como ele diz, poderia ser em qualquer lugar. Agora ele pode descer pelo outro lado. Enquanto George se prepara para voltar ao povo do xamã, Nico está embaixo da ponte de Londres, aqui escondido atrás desse caixote. Tem que passar sem que o vigia veja. Agora para a escada. Não, interrompeu antes de ele procurar o tesouro. Ainda bem que o cara não olha para cima e que ela é magrinha. Agora nessa porta aqui. O cara vai achar estranho a porta estar aberta. Em vez de procurar nas imediações, ele vai entrar no armário, claro.
Got you.
But the collar woman was there. They'll know it was me.
But you have the stone. The right stone, you're sure?
Yes, of course, it's the Jaguar stone. No possible mistake. Here it is. Garzak, please. The police will be looking for me soon. You're going to get me out of the country, aren't you?
Stop your whining, Oublier. Do you have any idea what this stone symbolizes?
I thought you just wanted it to frighten the natives.
Fool.
I intend to cast this stone into the sea.
But why? It's unique.
Exactly. With it gone, the Mayan priest's plan to destroy Tezcatlipoca cannot succeed.
I can assure you that Tezcatlipoca is a mythical figure.
Such a small mind you live in. Tezcatlipoca is real. I have seen him in my dreams. We have spoken of his plans for this world. We have spoken of your part in these plans.
My part?
He told me you would be useful. He told me how to crush your spirit by turning you to drugs.
My wife died. You know that full well. She was my world, my everything.
And now? You are no longer useful. She called out your name as she died, you know.
What? What are you saying?
And then they thought you'd done it. It all worked perfectly.
You? It was you? You bastard! You monster! For the love of God, Karzak!
Which one?
There were no signs of life, but I checked that Oublié really was beyond help. We were going to need the stone to thwart Karzak. I knew Oublié would have approved. It was the Jaguar stone, all right.
Depois de abrir passo na selva, George se aproxima de algo muito estranho.
Pirates? I was about to make good my escape when...
Cut! Who the hell are you?
I can explain everything.
Don't bother.
Foi parar no meio de uma filmagem.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were making a movie.
So who are you?
Stobart, George Stobart. 2 B's and 2 T's.
It's okay, Mr. Hawks. He wasn't in the shot.
Hawks? This had to be Carlton Hawks, the newest enfant terrible of Tinseltown. I'd read about him. Mailroom boy makes good. Nice to know it was still possible to get to be a director armed with only an encyclopedic knowledge of postal charges.
Stay out of the way, surfer boy. I'll deal with you later.
Surfer boy?
Então, hoje vamos ficando por aqui. O Exou Biribó, agradecendo o apoio, a presença, a paciência principalmente, as dicas, a torcida, desejando boa noite, até amanhã. Por enquanto eu fui.